Hi there! Welcome to part 2 of Gaia Summer Top Crochet tutorial for toddler size. Here I have my panel finished and I'll quickly go over what we did so far. So we did a magic ring first, and then we did foundation double crochet plus 6 double crochets, and that was 7 stitches total for the first round. Then for the second row we did foundation double crochet plus 1 double crochet in the same stitch, then 2 double crochets, 5 double crochets in the same stitch, and then for the second side we did 2 double crochets, and then in the same stitch we did 2 more double crochets. Then row 3, foundation double crochet and double crochet in the first stitch, followed by 5 double crochets. Then 5 double crochets in one, and on the other side repeat the same as we did on the first side. On the next row we did the same, only with 6 stitches more. On the row 5 we did our spike double crochet, and then again we increased the first stitch. We did 1 double crochet followed by 1 spike double crochet and then 2 double crochets, and we repeated that 2 more times. And then we did 1 last spike double crochet and then our 5 double crochets in that middle stitch, and then the same sequence in the opposite side. Then for the next round we did all double crochets, increasing the middle stitch by 5 double crochets and first and last stitch by 2 double crochets each. Then also our rows 7 and 8 were all double crochets, each row having 6 stitches more than the previous one. Then again we did our spike double crochet round, and as I mentioned before, I do have a written pattern available on my website where you'll find all the details for this size and for the sizes all the way up to adult 4XL. And to continue here, on the round 10 we did 27 double crochets, and then we did 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet in the same stitch, and then we did 5 single crochets in one, and as usual on the second side we repeated the same thing as we did on the first side. And finally, on both sides of our top we did 2 half rows of double crochets. So those were all the steps for our panel. Now I'll cut my yarn and I'll pull it out like so. And I'll go ahead and cut all of my yarn for all the other colors as well. At this point we'll have a bunch of these tails hanging, but we'll hide all of these ends just by single crocheting over them. So we'll be single crocheting over the entire bottom of our panel, and we'll try to put at least 2 single crochets per 1 row of double crochets or more. But what's important is that we have the same number of stitches on both sides of our panel, and we'll place 1 stitch in the middle. So I'll take the same color as I have on the last round of my granny squares, and I'll insert my hook into this last stitch here. And I'll take my yarn and pull it through, like so. Then I'll take my tail and wrap it around my hook like that. Yarn over and pull through these 2 loops. Then I'll go into this next loop, so this loop right here, yarn over and do our first single crochet. Then into the next loop and single crochet. So as I said before, you'll have to figure out for yourself which loops to work into, but try to have at least 2 per each row, or 4 per each color. And as I go, you can see that I'm crocheting over my tails here as well. On the other side of the panel, it will be much easier to figure out which loops to work into, because you won't have all these tails hanging out here. So just go slowly, and this is what you'll have so far. I'll do this first side so you'll have the idea of how this will go, and on this side you should have at least 24 stitches. But if you can put more stitches, feel free to do that. And as I said, you just have to make sure that on both sides you'll have the same amount of stitches. So I actually managed to do 27 stitches on this side, and I'll do 1 stitch in the magic ring and then 27 more stitches across the other side as well. And you are going to do the same. Count how many stitches you got on this side and do that many stitches on the other side as well. You can pause the video and do this side on your own and then meet me back once you're done. Okay, I'm almost done here. I just want to show you where you place that last single crochet. So it has to go into the first double crochet of your last row. And on the other side, we did the same thing. And when we connect it to our granny squares, you won't have any weird bumps on these sides. So again, we did 27 double crochets on each side, plus 1 stitch in the middle. And that's 55 stitches total for the bottom of my panel. And as you can see, I crocheted over all of my ends here as well. And now we'll place our panel onto our granny squares, just like so. I'll zoom out a little bit here. And now we'll be connecting this panel to our granny squares. But before we do that, we should first get rid of these ends. And I did crochet over the first half of most of my ends, just so I can get my tapestry needle, and I'll get these ends weaved in, going in the opposite direction, just making sure they won't come out undone easily. So go ahead and do the same with all of your ends. And then cut whatever excess yarn you might have. And this is what you should have so far. And now when we center our panel to the granny squares, the middle of your panel, or that stitch we did in the magic ring, should go over this connection here. And we'll have this stitch going into that single crochet we did over our joining stitch. And like that, we'll be left with few stitches on both sides. For me, there will be 8 stitches on each side, since on this side of my granny squares I have 71 stitch, and on the bottom of my panel I have 55 stitches. And if you manage to do the same amount of stitches as I did, you have the same number of stitches on each side. And I'll go ahead and count from my corner here 8 stitches, which I'll skip, and I'll get my stitch marker and place it in that stitch I'll be working through. And then I'll find my first stitch on the panel, so this stitch right here. Then I'll get my hook out and I'll get the same yarn color, so it blends as much as possible. I'll take my stitch marker out and I'll be working into this stitch here. So what I'll do now is get my panel and go into the back loop of that first stitch. So as you can see, that's this stitch right here. And I'll go through this back loop only, and then through the back loop of that 9th stitch of my granny square. And then I'll take my yarn and pull it through like so. Then I'll go into the next stitch on my panel through the back loop, and then also to the back loop of the next stitch on the granny square. Grab the yarn and slip stitch. So we are basically doing the same thing we did when connecting our granny squares. So just going through the back loop on each side and slip stitching. And like this, we'll have that nice braided look on the front. So just work slowly, make sure you don't miss any stitches, and you should have 54 slip stitches total. You can go ahead and slip stitch the entire panel to the granny squares and then meet me back once you're done. Okay, here I have my panel attached to the granny squares, and this is what it should look like in the front and in the back. You can do this connection any way you prefer really, but I think that like this, it just looks nice and it complements the entire design wonderfully. And you can see here as well how I have the middle of my panel right where I have this connection. Now I'll cut my yarn and pull it out like so. So now I'll take my new color yarn and I'll go with this darker color, and I'll be single crocheting all around my piece, adding the neck straps and the holes for the back string. I'll go into this stitch here on the bottom, and I'll take my yarn and pull it through. I'll get the tail, wrap around my hook, yarn over and pull through. Then I'll go into the next stitch and single crochet. One more single crochet. And I'll do one single crochet here in the corner as well, like so. And now I'll chain one, then skip this stitch and go into the next one and single crochet. And this is how we'll be creating these little holes through which we'll be feeding our strings. So then we'll do 2 single crochets, and then chain 1, skip 1, do 2 more single crochet, chain 1 and skip 1, and then do 2 more single crochets, and finally chain 1, skip 1. And like this, we'll have 4 holes total for our back string. And now I'll continue single crocheting all the way to this connection. When we reach to this part where we connected panel to the granny squares, I'll single crochet both stitches together, and we'll be avoiding having a hole here in the corner. So go through the stitch on granny squares and the stitch on the panel, and single crochet. Now just go ahead and single crochet all the way to the next corner where we'll add our first neck strap. So this here is my last single crochet for this side, and it will go into that last double crochet from this last row. And you can see here how this looks like so far. Now for our next strap, we'll be doing a long chain of 40. And after we have our chain completed, we'll crochet down the back side of this chain. So we'll turn our chain and we'll be inserting our hook into these back bumps here. And then we'll slip stitch. So we'll do this down the entire chain and we'll have 39 slip stitches total. Again, just have a bit of patience with this because crocheting into the back side of our chain can be a bit tricky. But we have this very nice string in the end that has this pretty braided design on both sides. Okay, here I am on the last few stitches. So we'll work into this very last stitch here. And now after we're done slip stitching, we'll go into the same stitch we started our next strap with and do one single crochet. And this will be our first neck strap. Now we'll single crochet across this part here. And since we are crocheting over our double crochet rows, just as we did across the bottom of our panel, we'll do the same thing, trying to place 2 single crochets for each row of double crochet. So we should have 4 stitches for this side, and then we'll just place 1 single crochet into these stitches here, and we'll have 7 stitches total. And on our second side, 4 more single crochets. And now we'll add our second neck strap in the same way as we did with our first one. So we'll chain 40 first, and then slip stitch down the chain. And lastly, single crochet across this side as well. Do the same thing here at the connection, single crochet 2 together, add the holes, and single crochet across the bottom until you reach that first stitch. And then I'll show you how to connect this seamlessly. Okay, I've single crocheted all around, I did both of my neck straps, and you can see how nice they look like here. And I did those 4 holes on the other side as well. Now lastly, I'll show you how to connect these 2 ends seamlessly. So I'll cut the yarn first and pull it out like so. And then with my hook, I'll go into that very first stitch we did through both loops, just like that. Grab my yarn and pull it through. Then go into the last stitch from the bottom and through the middle. Yarn over and pull through. And now you can see how we have this stitch that looks just like any other stitch on this row. I'll pull this tail to the back, and you can see how you can't even notice where we did our connection. So now after we have all of this finished, the only thing left to do is the back string, which we'll be feeding through these holes here. And the way I'll do this is I'll take this darker color again, just as I did on my border here, and I'll measure around 2 meters of this yarn. And then I'll get my hook now and make a slip knot, just like so. Now I'll take my working yarn and prepare for crocheting, leaving this super long tail here. And now I'll get this tail and wrap it around my hook. And then I'll yarn over and pull through. So wrap the tail, yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook. And that's what we'll keep on doing until we have at least 1 meter long string. So here I have my 1 meter long string. And now to finish off, I'll cut both of these tails. And pull this one out like so. Now I'll just tie them together to secure. And now that we have our string, I'll get my top and place it like that. Then I'll get the string and my hook, and I'll go through that first hole from the back. Get the string and pull it through. Then I do the same thing with the other side. Find the first hole and pull the string through. And we'll do the same thing with all of the holes here, kind of crisscrossing the string as we go. And this is how this back part should look like. Now this is optional, but I really like how these little details complement the design. So I'll be adding some beads and tassels on the ends of my strings. So to do the tassels first, we'll cut 5 short pieces of yarn per string. So that will be 20 pieces total. And all of them should be at least 7 centimeters long. And then I'll get 4 beads as well for each string. So what I'll do first is I'll get the thinner hook . One that will go through the hole of my bead. Grab the string and pull it through. Then I'll get those 5 pieces of yarn and pull them through that end loop of the string. So I'll just pull 1/2 through, like so. And then I'll get a new piece of yarn and start wrapping it around here at the very top of my tassel. I would wrap maybe around 10 times, making sure that the bead won't be able to go through. Then I'll cut the yarn. And since I've left this little loop here, I'll use it to hide my tail. Just like that. Cut the ends a bit to make them even. And this is how it should look like. Now you can go ahead and attach the rest of the beads in the same way. And we are all done. Crochet this summer top to use up your scrap yarn, or use the pattern to practice some new stitch techniques. It's worked from bottom up in 2 pieces and it's completely seamless. As I mentioned before, the written pattern for this size and all the other sizes can be found on my website, and I'll link it in the description box. And I'll use this opportunity to thank all of my testers who helped me finalize this pattern. And thanks to these amazing ladies, the crochet pattern for this top is available in sizes toddler, child, adult, XS, ML, XL, 2XL, and 3 to 4XL. And I love how each one of their versions came out. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or suggestions, leave them in comment section below, and I'll make sure to answer all of them. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell button so you don't miss any videos I post. That will help other people find my videos as well. I would love to see your finished work, so make sure you tag me on social media when you post it. To see more of my work, visit my Instagram, Facebook and TikTok page, which I'll link in the description box, as well as my website where you can buy some of my ready-to-ship items and patterns, and also find some more free written patterns. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.